What's going on, ladies and gentlemen and ladies? This is B Tatum. Hey, I know that there's been a high anticipation for this interview. I know, especially on my part, man, I've been dying to talk to this gentleman that I'm about to bring on. I intentionally didn't try not to do too much research about him because I want to learn about my guest right along with you guys. Ask him some questions. Keep it real. Keep it 100. There ain't gonna be no, pansy work. We're gonna get into some stuff. We're gonna chop it up. We just gonna keep it real. So I appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to the Hangover Gang for jumping in here and joining. Shout out to Nova. I think that's Tom's special lady. Shout out to her. And so without me running my mouth too much, I'm going to bring my guest in. I did some reviews, some reactions to some of his music videos. I think, in my personal opinion, he one of the coldest dudes that's out right now rapping about stuff that makes sense. A lot of people, they rapping, mumbling, and I don't even know what they talking about. Twerking on the devil and all kind of other stuff. But Tom is out here putting in the work. So without me running my mouth, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Tom Macdonald.
What's up, bro? What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad you came on. Good to see you in the flesh. Dude, I wanted to interview you because I've done reviews on a few of your rap songs, and I'm like, who is this dude, man? I got tats on his face, got a grill. You know what I'm saying? So I want to start by saying, man, thank you for coming on, but give me a rundown, bro. How did you go from your past to being one of the fierest music artists that's out right now?
How long you got?
How long as you need, brother.
Man, it was a wild ride, to say the least, bro. Like, I've been rapping since I was probably like 19. And sort of like when I started rapping, I was talking about all the same stuff that everybody else is talking about today, what, like the money and the clothes and the girls and the cars and blah 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 blah, all this type of stuff. And I did that for like a long time because I think I was a young kid and I wanted to be the cool rapper guy at the parties, and I wanted to be a musician and get the girls and get rich and famous and all that type of stuff. The same reason that a lot of people decide to be musicians. Yeah. The thing is I was making, as a young man, I was making music that was imitating my favorite artists, which was 50 Cent and Dipset and Eminem and that type of stuff. So I'm talking about all types of gang stuff and guns and drugs and all this nonsense that I really didn't know anything about at that time. So the music didn't get any traction. So I did that for like a few years. And then what ended up happening was I had a really lengthy battle with alcoholism, which led to having a catastrophic sort of mental unraveling like 3.5 years ago. And I spent 9 months trying to figure out what was wrong with me and getting prescribed all types of different pills and reading and researching and meditating and trying to put myself back together. And sort of what ended up happening was I spent 9 months in like the darkest place that I've ever been in my life. And when you spend 9 months in such an acute state of unwellness, you really get to know like what you're made of. And you really figure it out when you spend 24 hours a day for the better part of a year contemplating if you're going to wake up tomorrow or not. You learn a lot about yourself. So in that 9-month period, I sort of learned what was important to me, what I wanted to talk about in my music, who I wanted to talk about it to, who I wanted to speak up for. And I just sort of figured that out in the 9 months. And then I didn't make any music or do anything really for that year while I was going through that. I was barely eating, barely sleeping. I wasn't really speaking. I was living at my mom's house because I was like, literally, if it wasn't for my folks, I would have been on the streets, bro. Like, yeah, like I was totally done. So yeah, I just figured out a lot about myself in that 9-10 months. And then when I came back and started making music again, I sort of like knew what my purpose was, and that's kind of where I'm at now.
So when you talk about, being at the lowest of the low, I mean, without getting into too many details or something that you may not want to tell the world, but man, I mean, how low were you? Because, a lot of times people go through a low and they have a testimony and that's how that will bring them out. But when you say low, are you talking like contemplating suicide? Like, you know, what was the drug usage like, or how low were you, man?
I mean, it was really bad, dude. Like, essentially, like, it started out like just going out on, weekends with my friends and getting drunk. And then all of a sudden, like, we were having the best time ever when we were going out on Friday and Saturday nights. So we wanted to have that best time as constantly as possible. And before you know it, like, I'm going to bed with a case of beer next to my bed. So when I wake up in the morning, it's there. So I can drink one before I even pull the covers off and go about my business. And I never looked at it as, oh, I'm addicted to alcohol, I'm an alcoholic. I just looked at it as, hey, man, I'm having a effing blast right now. I'm having a great time doing this. I have such a great time every time that I'm drunk. I want to be drunk all the time. And then that turned into, months and months and months on end of being drunk. And I don't know if it was that it was affecting my memory. It was affecting my mood. It was affecting every aspect of my life, and making poor decisions and feeling regretful all the time. And it was just the perfect storm of alcohol and probably mental unwellness that had gone under the radar for many, many years. And the constant drinking sort of lit the fuse on that powder keg. And all in one night, all of a sudden, I went to get up out of my bed and I took a step and the whole room moved. And I took another step and the whole room moved again. And all of a sudden my heart's pounding out of my chest and I can't catch my breath and I can't see straight. And I'm laying on the floor with 911 dialed on my phone, just waiting. Like, I was pretty sure I was going to die. And
was that your turning point, or was it something else that was like, okay, this is the moment I need to turn it all around? Like, what's the actual point in which you turn the table and got the epiphany of saying, bro, I need to change the music, I need to change my lifestyle? And I listened to your music, bro. So where is Nova in this? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
this is going on.
I'll get into the Nova thing in a second, because that's like another low that we ended up getting into together that followed this whole thing. So I don't think it really was like one moment, man, because what ended up happening was, after this night where I sort of lost my mind, I spent like 2-3 days really confused, really out of it, dizzy all the time, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Like, if I would cut up one egg and one piece of toast, I'd have one bite of it and I would gag to eat one egg and one piece. Like, that's how bad the anxiety was. So that was happening. I couldn't sleep. I had my phone laying next to my head with a podcast playing, and I'd have my computer sitting next to my bed with a movie playing, because I was so ADD, like, and scatterbrained, that I needed noise to sort of quiet what was like going on inside me. So a few days of that happened. I had called my parents a few times and I wasn't exactly sure how to express it to them, but I was like, hey, like, I'm not feeling well. Like, I feel like I'm scared all the time. Like, I'm really worried about something. I don't know what that is. And I've been to the doctor and they gave me these pills and these pills aren't working. Some really, really just terrifying experiences with medication. And then what ended up happening was, I called my mom one day when I was in a really bad place and she didn't pick up, and I left a really scary voicemail on her phone, which I didn't realize at the time. I didn't realize how cryptic it was, but it sounded like I was about to check out. And then I wouldn't pick up my phone and I wouldn't talk to people because I was too messed up. So my mom had to call a friend of mine who ended up coming to my place, breaking into my house, packing my bags for me, wrestling me into his vehicle, driving me to the airport, getting me on a plane and sending me home. Dang. So it was weeks of accumulating turmoil that, when I got to my mom's house for the first time and walked into the bedroom that I slept in as a child, and as a 25-year-old man walking into that bedroom, and I was just like, wow, Like, I can't believe I'm back here right now. I really need to figure this out.
Yes. So the music industry, we all know what it looked like, man. You know, I hear you talk about in your music, you talk about the mumble rappers and all that other stuff. And you said that you were somewhere similar to like rapping about that stuff because that's what that's what you kind of grew up on. Your favorite people
Right.
was rapping about a certain subject matter. So what got you to like, because I haven't heard all of your music. Your first song that I heard was White Boy. I think that's what it's called, White Boy.
Yeah.
And like what sparked you to like do that song? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it together. You come from, some of that hip hop rap music, destructive music, you got a hard pass, and at some point you turn it and say, bro, I'm finna make this song and I'm finna just express this. Like what got you into making that first song, White Boy?
Honestly, man, it came about like pretty organically. I'll give you the little preface to that. Like, all the mental breakdown stuff happened. Moved to California, and Nova, my girlfriend who shoots all my music videos, and she's also an incredible artist herself. Like, we've been friends for like 14 years. She put me on her first rap show. That's how we met. So she's in California at that time because she has a deal with Island Def Jam as a rapper. She's unreal. So I come out and I stay with Nova for a little while and sort of like rekindle our friendship. And then I have some stuff happen in my life. My mental breakdown is, I'm starting to put myself back together, but I'm still kind of, all over the place. So we fall out for a little bit, reconnect a few months later, hit it off. Everything's cool. Nova and I are living in like the hood in LA. Like, we're living in South Central. Like, we got like holes in the ceiling. There's water pouring through in the kitchen. The crib's full of rats. Like, if I go into the kitchen and it's dark and I turn on the lights, there's cockroaches crawling everywhere and stuff. Like, I'm the only white person in probably like 20 miles in every direction, bro. Like it's crazy. Like, everybody knows, oh, that's the house where that white kid with all the tattoos lives. Like that, So like, our life's falling apart. We don't got no money for groceries. We don't got no money for rent. Like, things, it's not good. And dude, it's like so crazy. It was like on some meant to be like universe, like by God, like blessed. Like, it was crazy. Like, I go outside one day, I got half a cigarette left in this cigarette pack. That's all I got to my name, bro. Like, I don't even have $5. Like, we don't have food, nothing. I go out and I sit on the front porch with this half a cigarette. I light it, I smoke it, and I write this song. By the time I'm done smoking that cigarette, I had written this song called Dear Rappers. Mm-hmm. And something just like clicked in my head that day when I wrote that song. And I came running into the house and I was like, Nova, I just wrote the song that's going to change our life. I swear to God, I just did it. Like, I was like, I need you to shoot the video right now. She's like, you haven't even recorded it. I was like, I'm going to record it. While I'm recording, set up the lights, pull the backdrop down. Like, let's get this thing done. So boom, 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 record it, shoot the video. I got no money to release this thing. I hollered at 5 homies. I borrowed like $100 from a couple of them and $200 from a couple other ones. I ended up with like $1,000. I put this music video on Facebook. I take the $1,000 that I just borrowed from like my sister and my homies. I used it to promote that video. And 2 days later, it had 1 million views. And like, the rest is history.
Dang.
So yeah, like crazy. So this is how we get into White Boy. So Dear Rappers goes off, does really well. So now I need a follow-up for Dear Rappers. And there's hundreds of thousands of people showing up at this point in time. And I don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. I don't have the knowledge of social media. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah. So I come up with this other record called Hell of It, which was sort of like part 2 to the Dear Rappers. And it was just like criticizing the status quo of hip hop and the message in hip hop and the effect that it has on the youth and blah, 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 blah. So I do those 2 songs and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden there's like 50,000 people like on my Facebook and my Twitter, all calling me down saying that like, yo, like, you wrote these 2 songs criticizing black rappers. You're a racist, like blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yo, you guys, like, I'm not criticizing rappers of a particular color. I'm criticizing rappers of a particular content. And you've taken that way out of context. So you have something to be angry about on the internet. Now there's all these people calling me a racist and blah, 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 blah. And being the only white boy in that neighborhood and hearing all of this stuff that people are saying on the internet, again, was just like this perfect mixture of angst and anger and just feelings that I was having. And I just put all that into a record. And that was White Boy. And little did I know that that was going to cause 50,000 times the amount of bullshit that the other songs caused.
Yeah, bro, that song was fire, bro. I mean, that's the first time I heard of you, but then I didn't connect the songs, the more recent songs with that one. But that White Boy song, if for the people that's on here, I'm interviewing Tom Macdonald. You can see his name on his next to his face. One of the most incredible rappers that I've heard. But that White Boy song, if people haven't listened to it, at some point y'all got to check it out. But you're in the classroom, and it's funny because I got to ask you this too. I'll get to it in a second, because I'm wondering, like, how did you get these people coordinated to do this? Because you got a couple brothers in there and they all kind of like playing along with it. But I mean, you in this music video saying what every American wants to say. I'm talking about reasonable American. I'm not talking about these lunatics on either side. I'm talking about reasonable Americans are like, you can see that there's an attack on white men in America, and somehow if you got white skin, you somehow associated with slavery and all of this stupidity. So how did you get those people to cooperate? Like, how did you get that music video together, and how do you think that changed who you are, or who you were, or who you are today as an artist? Like, did that have a pivotal step for you as an artist?
Okay, so the way it came together, and I'll get into the second part, but the way it came together was, dude, I wrote that song and I rewrote that song and rewrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it until it was in a place where I felt like I was actually saying what I wanted to say. Good. People couldn't take what I was saying out of context. They couldn't distort the message, which they ended up doing anyway. So, which I should have known, but didn't have the experience at that time, which is fine. But dude, like, that neighborhood that I was living in, I knocked on my neighbor's door one time at 9 p.m. at night, and he opened the door with a gun in my face. Like, it's a tough neighborhood. And I knew who my neighbors were, and none of them were white. And I invited all of those guys into my house to listen to that song before I ever decided, hey, I want to shoot a music video to this. And these guys are not, they're not playing. Like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to name drop and that type of stuff, but like, these are serious people. Yeah. So I brought them into my house. I showed them the song and we discussed it. And there was like some objections to some of the things I was saying, and which I even, like, I didn't disagree with. Like, I see both sides of it. Like, I get it. Like, I understand that, like, what I'm saying is going to ruffle some people's feathers and is not going to fit the narrative that other people live their life by. Like, I get it. But we were able to all talk about it. And at the end of the day, shake hands. Okay, have a good day, guys. Still ate barbecue with them. Still worked out with them in the mornings. Never had another problem about it. So that conversation with those guys kind of was like, gave me the confidence to, like, okay, they didn't necessarily like everything that I was saying. They understood it though. And at the end of the day, like, we're all still neighbors and we're all still friends, and there's no problem. So when I cast the music video, I thought it would be unfair to bring, like you said, there's a couple brothers in there. So I thought it would be unfair to bring everybody into that classroom environment and then just be like, okay, we're shooting a music video. Like, too bad for you, motherfuckers. Like, you're stuck here now. So what I did was I stood at the front of the classroom with those 20 folks in there, and I played the song for them. And I said, if anybody has any objections to what you just heard, if anybody does not want to be in this music video, you'll still get paid. You're free to go right now. You do not have to be here. I'm not holding anybody's feet to the fire. You are free to leave. This is the song I'm making. This is the music video we're shooting. And I opened up the floor to let people raise their hands and have a conversation. I think one or two people did. They didn't really say anything. They didn't really object too hard, and everybody chose to stay. And
Oh,
we shot the music video.
bro, that's lit. I was waiting. I when I first heard it, I was like, man, if I ever meet this dude, I'm gonna ask him, how in the world did you get these people to be in that music video and cooperate? Because I feel like they all played a really good part and they were really their characters, and you were just in there going hard. So I want to transition to a couple other things, so we can hit a few sections, because I know people want to hear a lot about the things that you think about. We talked already kind of a little bit where you come from.
Sure.
We'll get to some more Nova questions here soon, because my people have asked me about Nova 1,000 times. It's the whole section about Nova, but
Okay.
we'll get to that in a second. But what is your take on the current music industry today, and how do you think what you do impacts that? I mean, do you think you have an impact, or do you think that what you're doing is not really going to affect the music industry? So 2 questions. What is your thoughts on the current music industry? When I say music industry, I mean in your genre. Like, I think you lean more towards hip hop, rap music, even though some of your stuff is kind of like rock.
Sure.
But those 2 questions, if you can get them for me.
Man, honestly, I just feel like hip hop and rap has just sort of become expendable. And it's just become sort of like a vehicle for other things, whether that's clothes or liquor or Beats by Dre headphones or whatever the case may be. I feel like hip hop's kind of become a vehicle for those things. It's disappointing when you look back at where everything started, and like fight the power, fight the man, screw the system. It's disappointing to see how commercialized it's become. But I mean, that's the natural progression of things. I'm not big on the a few years ago. It seems to take these sort of wild turns, like every now and again. It went from like fight the system and protest to like guns and drugs and gang stuff, to now it's kind of like Xanax and lean and party culture. And it's just like, to me, like that's not what I want to hear. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro, there's like some really incredible, amazing artists out there who are very talented that are talking about these types of subject matters. So I think that I think what the listener needs to do is just, I don't think that it's detrimental to listen to this stuff as long as you understand what you're listening to.
Right.
Like that's the thing, is like, if you're gonna go eat at McDonald's every single day and you don't understand that you're consuming garbage and you're killing yourself slowly because you don't have the knowledge, that's an issue. But if you are aware of what you're eating, and it's the same with music, if you're aware of what you're consuming, then maybe you don't let it influence your life or have a negative impact. And that's like what's important to me. So I think the genre right now is arguably more successful than it's ever been, period. Like, rap has become pop music. It is the music of the people these days. Like, it's incredible. I think the messages are super distorted and are contributing to the unwellness of especially the youth in the country. But as long as they can understand what they're listening to, it should be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you 1,000%. I say the same thing that you say, is that if you got to understand that it is affecting you psychologically, no matter who you are, no matter what you're listening to it, you're ingesting it, you're watching imagery, it's going to mess with your psyche. And do you want to infiltrate, or you want to overload yourself with this certain music? I'll give you an example just real quick, and then we'll get more to the interview. But I remember I used to listen to this K-Love, which is like a Christian radio station that plays nonstop music without commercials. And it's like listener supported. And I remember they have a 30-day challenge, and I took that challenge and I decided to listen to K-Love for 30 days. And it's all Christian inspiring music. Dude, and my whole body felt different. Like my mind, my body, I was positive. It was uplifting. And I also, at a point in my life, listened to, I just say his name, Kevin Gates. I listened to Kevin Gates one time, and I binge listened to him. I was listening to all of his music, and bro, I get violent. You know what I'm saying? Like my attitude is bad. I'm driving down the road, going to hit people up with gang signs. I'm like, dude, the old Brandon is coming out of me when I listen to this music. So how do you think your music? Because you don't. To me, you rap about conscious stuff. Like somebody can like I feel like I know you a little bit based on your music, but how do you think your music is affecting people moving forward?
Honestly, man, like it's difficult. It's really hard to say how it actually is affecting people, because if there's one lesson I learned, especially from stuff like White Boy, it's that I can have my own personal intentions with something. And when I put it out into the world, it's like the rest of the world takes ownership of it and may or may not distort what my intentions were. And based on their interpretation of it, can affect them in different ways. But what I can say is that, like, I spent the majority of my life being a loser and being a loner and being an addict and being a weirdo and being one of the people that just got forgotten about and fell through the cracks. So what I hope people get from my music is I hope it just empowers them, and can help be the rope that they can pull themselves out of their hole with. Like that's my whole thing, man. Is like music at the end of the day. And I hate to say it because it sounds so cliche, but music really did save my life, man. Like I spent 9 months, wanting to die. I spent a couple years in, like I said, in the hood, like struggling to survive and stuff. And music really just like saved my life. So when I make music that makes me feel good, I hope I can put that out into the world and it makes other people feel good. To me, that's like the greatest reward from all of this. So I hope it's empowering, and I hope it affects people similar to the way that radio station changed Gear Day, man.
Yeah, and I think it has, man. I tell you what, personally for me, you give me an opportunity to bang some rap music and some good beats and like have a message behind it, and not have to roll my windows up, turn my music down when I come through an intersection because somebody talking about sucking and doing all kind of other crazy stuff. Like, and then it also, I think we're very similar because I feel like that I talk about the things that you rap about. Like you rap about the music that you made. The one song that I did a review on, it's got almost 1 million views, The Fake Woke. It's like that's the same stuff I be saying like on the way when I present stuff, and then you said the same thing in the music video. So I'm jamming Fake Woke, and I'm just like, yeah, man, I had the windows down. I'm like, I'm like a witness to the people. I'm like, I need everybody to hear this. Y'all hear that Fake Woke? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's great. But I'm gonna do a couple rapid fire because some of the people that follow me had some questions, and I think they asked some really good stuff. Sure. I'm gonna try to make it to where you can bang them out. So what is the day in the life of Tom Macdonald? Because we know you do music, you write music, you're doing music videos, you're doing all kind of stuff. Like, what does a day look like for you? I mean, are you hustling every day? Are you taking the weekends off, or is it only in seasons? So what's like a day for you?
Wake up, do social media. That's a super fun part of my life that I have to upkeep every day. Yeah. Wake up, social media, hit the gym. I got a full gym set up out here outside, so I work out every day. Come in, eat breakfast, and then depending what's on my plate for the day. Lately, I've been writing songs because I'm trying to wrap up my solo album right now. So I'm spending a lot of time writing. If I'm not writing, I'm shooting videos. If I'm not shooting videos, I'm designing merch. If I'm not designing merch, I'm uploading songs to TuneCore. If I'm not doing that, I'm getting my mail outs ready. If I'm not doing bro, Nova and I do 20-hour days of work, bro. Like it's intense.
Bro, and I believe you, dude. I mean, you got to see, I had to hire a few people because I'm just overwhelmed. Like I'm overwhelmed. Like media, people reaching out to me, booking engagements. I have a store like you do, and by the way, what's your store? So people, you have a merch store, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hangovergang.com.
Oh, Hangover Gang. That's what everybody talking about in the thing. I thought it was maybe like a little group you had, but hangovergang.com is where you could get Tom Macdonald's merch. And dude, I'm doing some similar stuff. You know, you probably doing a lot more than I am because I don't have to write anything down. I just get on here and run my mouth. But it's a full-time 24-hour a day, 7-day a week gig. I say I'm gonna take Sundays off, and I never take Sundays off. Are you kidding me? Somebody's calling me about something, if it's family, personal, or it's business, you know. So let me.
Dude, I dropped a music video on Christmas, bro. Like for real. Like I dropped one on like December like 15th or something, and then Nova's like, cool, like let's take Christmas off. And I was like, yeah, we'll definitely take Christmas off. Then like 3 days before Christmas, I'm like, hey, I gotta like shoot this video for this song, we'll release it on Christmas. And she's just like, fuck.
But bro, people they gotta understand like how you came from a bad, dark place and how you are successful now. I mean, you gotta grind. Ain't nothing gonna be handed to you. You don't get no. Where's your white privilege card? If you got a white privilege debit card, somehow you were swiping through the struggle. I mean, let me have that one because that ain't happening. I want to ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's the thing, man, is like some people out here that are musicians and stuff, they're grinding because they want more. They want more money, more cars, more clothes, more girls, more houses, more. And me, bro, like I'm working 20-hour days and breaking my back for this because I don't ever want to go back to having nothing. And that's like really it. Is like I don't need more. I just don't want to fall back into that place where there's scraping cockroach guts off my plates before I can eat my breakfast and stuff, you know? So
yeah, the struggle is real, bro. The struggle is real. And I think it's a blessing though. Because some people they go through stuff and they be like, oh man, why did I have to go? No, it is a blessing. You're getting set up for success if you come over the hump. If you stay there, you're gonna die in it. If you come over the hump, you ain't gonna never stop grinding because you ain't never going back to that. So who is your favorite artist right now? If you had to pick one person, I know that's probably incredibly difficult. If you had to pick one, or maybe even if you throw out about two or three, if it's easier, who's your favorite artist out right now? Like you could say nobody if you
just like
other than you, man, other than yourself.
Artist period, or like in my genre.
Dude, now artist period. Like who's making music right now that like inspire you?
Dude, I'm a huge Post Malone fan. I love Posty. Ozzy Osbourne just released an album maybe like 6-7 months ago that is extraordinary. Like I listened to that a lot. But I really came up on like classic rock is like what my dad introduced me to, like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Steppenwolf, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, the Beatles, stuff like that. So I listen to a lot of classic rock, but as far as hip hop goes, like honestly, man, I really mess with Posty, and DaBaby is just like such good vibes to me, bro. Like I think he's just great. So that's what I got going on right now. But when I work out in the mornings and stuff, and I listen to a lot of like 90s alternative rock and like 2000s post rock, like Stained and Puddle of Mud and Nickelback and corny stuff like that.
My wife tell me, I don't know, Nickelback, and I don't know who else I told her. Linkin Park. I said, baby, I listen to Linkin Park. She like, oh, you suck. You so corny listening to Linkin Park. But like people don't know, when I work out, I listen to and this is probably just as corny, but I listen to like Linkin Park. I listen to Chevelle. Like Chevelle is my favorite rock band. Like I mean, I don't even know if that's considered rock or alternative rock, but Chevelle go hard. Like their music is like a crescendo, dude. Like it's like they start out with a creep, and then it's like boom, 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 boom. And I throw my back out listening to that music.
Yeah, you feel like you're gonna tear the steel off the bar listening to Chevelle, right?
Bro, I feel like I'm a superhero. I'm just gonna bust out of my shell in the gym. I had dudes when I was working out real hard. I had a big old dude come up to me and say, bro, I don't know what you be doing, bro, but you intense. I'm like, bro, it's this Chevelle I'm listening to. They got me on another level. So, but I got a couple more questions I want to ask you, and I'm gonna try to make them quick. So, when you were growing up, did you grow up with two parents, or did you grow up in a single parent household?
Both my parents.
Yeah, both your parents. Do you have siblings?
I have a sister. Yeah.
A sister. Y'all close or y'all
younger? No, that's the homie, man. Like that's
the homie.
That's one of my road dogs. Yep.
So people love to ask about Nova. I know this is a personal question. I don't know how you feel about marriage, but my audience said, when you and Nova gonna get married?
I'm convinced. I'm convinced that Nova sent out like a mass email to my entire email list or something. Like, because, dude, every single time I get on live stream, it's just a wall of people being like, "When are you gonna propose, dog?"
Oh, bro, you got a winner chicken dinner, dude. You got a
Oh,
woman
dude.
out there grinding with you through the mud, and now y'all successful together. She cutting the videos. Now I don't know. She probably get on your nerves every day in real life, but to everybody else, it's like, bro, you got a winner. You know what I'm saying? Other
Yeah,
women ain't
absolutely.
gonna
We
hold you
we
down
get
like
on
that.
each other's nerves, bro. That's how it goes. Like, we've known each other for 14 years. Like,
Yeah,
we've been together in a relationship for 5 years. So, like, I could not. The rest of my life isn't even long enough to count the number of times that we've pissed each other off.
yeah.
Like I would
And-
die counting. But yo, I don't I don't know when I'm going to ask Nova to marry me, but she's been watching all of these Married at First Sight and and like all these marriage shows. Like there's another 30-Day Fiance. Like she's been watching all this stuff. I don't know if it was a subliminal plan, but I've been walking around the house thinking about how I'm going to propose for the last 2 weeks.
Hey, bro, women are smart, man. They put the spirit out there in the
Oh
atmosphere.
yeah.
You start looking at it.
She's like, "Oh babe, I made you lunch. You should come sit down and eat it with me." And I'm like, "Cool. What are we watching?" She's like, "Oh, 30-Day Fiance." I'm like, "Okay."
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, women are on it, man. My wife watch it all the time. She still watch it. We married, and I'm like, and to be honest, it's like we get on each other's nerve too. Like people may think that like when you're in a serious relationship with somebody, you in love or whatever, that somehow it's just perfect. Y'all walk around, kissing each other's rear end all day. It's like, no. I be wanting to go sleep in the guest house sometime. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm sick of you, especially because I snore at night and she be waking me up and I be in the rage. I'm like, what, man? I can't help it. Dang. If you was asleep, you wouldn't hear me snoring. But anyway, Canada, you from Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You moved to the US, right?
Correct.
Or no? Yeah. So somebody asked me, they said, what made you leave Canada and why did you want to move to the United States? If you want to answer that, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something
Sure,
going on.
man. Yeah, just honestly, like, I guess part of it was, wanted to break into the music industry and knowing that America was the hub for that. But really, like, the biggest thing was, I just never felt at home in Canada. And I went on tour through Europe a couple times, once with Onyx and once with Cool Keith. And I went to all these places, Paris and London and Amsterdam and Greece and Athens, all these different places. And I just thought that like somewhere out there, I was going to find the place that felt like home. And that's where I was going to move. And that's where I was going to build my family. And that's where I was going to do my thing. And after those 2 tours, I just never came across a place that felt like home. I got back to Canada, and then Nova was like, "Hey, why don't you come hang out in the States for a couple weeks and see how you like it?" And I was like, "Okay, bet. Like, let's do that." So I came out here. I was here for 2 days, and I was like, "This is home. Like, this is the first place I've ever felt at home." I went back and forth across this country 3 or 4 times now. I've been in pretty much every single state. There's just something about the spirit of the American people that just resonates with me. Like, it just does. Like, I just feel at home here. So,
Yeah, bro, you look American, bro. You look American. Somebody say you from Canada. I'm like, what? He look like he from America. I don't know no Canadian people with tats and piercings and all kind of rapping, and I'm like, bro, he American. Canada, So yeah, you right where you belong. So people want to ask some more questions. This is some pre stuff. So, are you political at all, man? I know we talked last night a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to ask you. Are you political at all, or you stay away from politics?
Honestly, man, like, if I said like, no, I'm not political, then people would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
listen to all your songs, my guy. Like, you're a politician, my guy. but I don't know, man. Like, dude, like, I don't watch the news. I don't subscribe to any one political party. I don't endorse either side. I don't, none of that. I just, that's one thing about America that like really did not exist in Canada. The potency that the politics have here, and the fact that they're sort of at the forefront of everything. It's like you flip on Instagram and there's a billion Joe Biden memes. Like you flip on Facebook and it's just, you know, cancel culture this, politicians that. Like, it's just everywhere here. It's like a huge part of the American culture, which is not something that I was used to in Canada. And like we talked about, sort of the type of music you listening to and digesting that and how it affects you as a person. Just seeing all of this stuff online and digesting it in mass amounts on a constant basis, it's just affected the type of music I write. And like, I'm not an expert. I've never claimed to be an expert. Like I said last night, I get asked to go on these political podcasts and I feel like a fish out of water. Like, I'm not qualified to be talking about that type of stuff. Because to me, it's just like, I read some political nonsense online. I have a feeling about it. I remember it and I put it in a song, and that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I felt, man. You know, a funny thing about me is that sometimes I wish that I wasn't even in the politics. It's a dirty, nasty, you know, and you get on here, you say something, and everybody love you one day, and you say something controversial about, even if like I'm more conservative. I'm a conservative. I'm a Trump supporter or whatever. I'm pretty sure if you've seen any of my stuff, you know that that's how I feel. But if I say something criticizing Trump, man, people come after you, boy. They wanna cancel you. I used to subscribe, now I hate you. It's like it's kind of get old. So you know, I feel you on that one, man. So somebody said, what kind of shoes is he going to come out with? So you coming out with some shoes, or somebody got some secret information, or what?
Nah, but there's definitely not going to be. I said to my girlfriend this morning, I said, yo, like, Lil Nas X is making a bag off these human blood shoes. I was like, I want to take a picture with one of my work boots and fill this fucking thing up with milk and just be like, yo, I'm selling these shoes. They come with fucking 4 liters of cow milk in them. I was like,
spoiled milk in them.
Yeah. So yeah, no shoes for me. But when they do drop, and I hope eventually I get that type of opportunity, no human blood in the soles of my kicks.
Yeah, bro. I'll buy your shoes though, for sure. What is somebody said? What's your first tattoo, bro? Because you tatted. I ain't even that tatted. I got some stuff on my forearms. I thought I was gangster. I mean, you tatted up, man. What was your first tattoo?
First one was oh man, I can't believe you guys are making me do this. It's this one down my forearm. It says passion. I was 16 years old. I was a pro wrestler at the time. And apparently I was so fucking passionate about being a pro wrestler, I had to get it tattooed on me. So,
bro, that's funny. That's funny. So do you have any like other talents? Because obviously you can rap, obviously. And I think rapping is more, you can think. Like, you're a thinker. You use your brain. Your brain is a talent. So do you have any other like hidden talents? Like, do you play the guitar? Can you sing or something that people may not know?
Yeah, I sing a bit. Obviously I rap. I make all my beats too. So I don't know if that's a skill, but I produce a lot. And I make all Nova's beats, so I produce for her. And yeah, I play the guitar, and I draw a lot. Like, I draw pictures and do a little bit of painting. I'm a pretty crafty dude. Sure.
Yeah. So you're talented. Okay. So people want to know. Some people want to know what are your thoughts about like Jesus, Christianity? Because you made a song called Church. I was going to do a review today before I brought you on, because I want to review it and put it out there so people get kind of like it's almost a little teaser for this live stream. But right. My baby was cutting up. He was cutting up, boy. He was cutting up. He was throwing up, cutting up, farting, pooping. So y'all don't do the kid thing. Don't do that.
That's part of being a dad, man.
Yeah, bro. So he was cutting up, but so I didn't get to do it. So everybody's talking about that song. Right. I didn't, when I first heard the first like 10 seconds of it, or before, I was like, yeah, I got to review this one. And I didn't know much about it. It didn't sound too really extremely religious. But yeah. So what's your take on it, man? Like, what's your take on the God and Christianity and religion and stuff like that? Just briefly.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to politics for me, where I believe in something. I'm not sure what that something is. I don't know if it's a carpenter named Jesus, if it's a fat dude named Buddha, if it's an 8-armed elephant, if it's Shiva. I don't know what it is. I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people don't know what it is, and they pick what suits them best, which is representative of good. And I believe in good and evil, and I'm not sure if that is God and the devil, or I'm not exactly sure what that is. I've been to church. I have Bibles at my house. I have other books that are about life written by Christians and stuff. I'm interested in it. I read it, and I want to fall on the right side of the fence. But
Yeah.
just for example, when I was on tour in Europe, I went to the Vatican, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. And I remember looking up at this building and how massive it was and how impressive it was and how much money is generated and owned by that institution. And I'm looking up at this, thinking about these things. And I remember looking to my left, and there was this man standing 10 feet away from me. And I could see his toes sticking out the end of his shoes. His hair was down his back. His face was dirty. His shirt was ripped up. He looked like he hadn't had a shower in 6 months. And he was just clutching a Bible, just looking up at this massive, impressive, rich institution. And just seeing that contrast was enough for me to just be like, yo, I'm cool with believing in God. I'm cool with believing in Jesus. I'm cool with being a Christian. I'm cool with spirituality. But the second that man tries to take these sort of unexplainable things in life and organizes them in order to monetize, I have an issue with that.
Yeah,
So,
bro. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Now go ahead. I hope I didn't cut you off.
No. So I've just never decided to subscribe to any one particular belief. I can tell you that definitely in the hardest times of my life, bro, when I was going through that darkness, when I had that mental breakdown, I was praying. I don't know who I was praying to. I don't know who was receiving that message, but somebody received those messages.
You're right.
Whether that was God or that was just the energy source that runs the universe, I'm not sure. But those messages were received, and something helped me climb out of that hole. So
right. And that's beautiful, bro. I mean, I love the way you think, man, because even you don't have to be super duper religious to realize something ain't right when you got a $1 billion facility and you got people out here that's starving right next door to it, and you got these people up on pedestals like they're gods, and they run the religious institution, and who can come to God or who can't come to God. And you see they molesting kids, and I'm not saying specifically every priest, but I'm saying you have this institution that oppose something, then they find out they molesting kids. You have this institution in America where they're making millions of dollars in churches, and then so that's why I love the fact that you're intelligent enough to say it's about relationship. It has nothing to do with religion. It's a relationship. And I pray that whatever's true is presented to you. And the only way you're gonna know is if you're open-minded to it. And I mean, I really, 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 really love that about you, man. And I appreciate you sharing that, because people want to know, kind of where you stand with certain things like that. Not that it even matter, because people be mad at me half of the time. I'm not Christian enough. And I be wanting to stick my finger up at some people, but I feel you. I feel you, man.
That's the angle that I came at the church song from. To me, like, church and the solstice that it provides sort of is pretty much what I just explained. I didn't come out and read any Bible passages or claim that I was a Christian or anything like that. I just said, look, man, I pray, I ask God for help, etc., and left it at that. So
yeah, which is great. I got a couple more questions for you. Do you speak French? I don't know.
I do not.
Asked. You do not. Do you speak any other language except English? Except Ebonics. No,
I
I'm
was
sure you
trying to
speak
think of
about.
I was trying to think of a funny answer, but no, I don't.
You was in the hood long enough. I'm pretty sure you picked up some stuff, man. So I know that, and this is just a question that I had. I noticed that in your video, you had braids and stuff. Who braided your hair? Nova?
Oh,
Or
dude, Nova braided my hair. Nova spent 10 years of her life living in Jamaica, bro.
really?
Yo, I'm not,
Really?
yo, bro. This girl, like, has witnessed her father get in like machete fights in Jamaica, like sharpening machetes on the street, like fighting in traffic jams. Like, she knows how to braid hair. When, bro, if she, her Jamaican accent is like, when she puts it on, because she was around it for 10 years and she speaks like, bro, it is uncanny. Like, it's
That's
crazy.
funny.
I've
Y'all
been
should
trying
make
to
a
convince her to drop a song in it for so
yes.
long, but she's like, no, like I can't. Like,
Y'all got to have a little song that have a little Jamaican vibe. I mean, even if it come through in the chorus once and she just go off, in some of Jamaican dialect, and come back, they gonna be hating on her, but it's gonna be fire though.
yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be fire. Somebody said, let's see, what was another one? Let me get to these super chats because I know a lot of people are super chatting. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go through and try to look at them and see if I can catch a few people on the super chat. And see if they have some pretty good questions on the super chat because I know that these were pre-written by people that we asked. Let me see if I can find this doggone thing. Hold on 1 second.
What's the super chat?
You never heard of super chats?
No.
Oh, brother. So when you live on the YouTube channel, people can ask you questions and they super chat them. And what they do is they can give a donation of between $199 to $500 to ask you a question. And
Oh,
so
crazy.
so when you when you go
So I
live,
gotta start going live on YouTube.
you
Is what
gotta
you're saying.
you gotta start going live on YouTube. And do your fans will love to hear from you. I wouldn't see this is the thing. I wouldn't go live like I do. I go live way too much. But if you go live every now and again and like do a Q&A about the music song, it's good for promotion. And it's also good to interact with the fans because they
Yeah, it's
probably
cool.
would love to. And it'll burn you out, bro, if you do as much as me. But if you go on there every once in a while to give a brief, you'll have people that support you through the super chats financially if they want to support that
Right.
way. And then they ask you questions and they pop up on the screen and so you'll see them. And it's so funny that this thing, I should have opened the super chat earlier, but I'll go through and look at a couple of them because people were super chatting. A lot of them are just saying, hey man, we love you. We love the show. One is saying that they want to say thank you for sharing your talents with us. People really tug on your heartstrings with the super chats. I think one just came and shout out. If people are shouting you out, I wish this thing had it from the very beginning. So we're gonna go over that. Is there anything that you want people to know about you that nobody? I mean, obviously, I don't want you to share none that you don't feel comfortable sharing. But like, is there anything? And I know that you ain't that person, but your music is pretty legit, so you
Yeah.
pretty much say everything. But is there something that people may not know about you that you want people to know? Like, you don't get a chance to express this, but this is something about you that if you had an opportunity, you'd be like, hey, y'all need to know this about me.
Honestly, man, I've really in the last few years really put myself out there. So I think people pretty much know like everything that I want people to know and everything that I don't want people to know. So it's pretty much out there. But I think what's kind of like most important for me is definitely just like this. There's two things: the mental health thing. I don't think that there's enough artists who stand up or artists, professional athletes, actors, people of influence. I don't think there's enough people of influence who stand up and say, I don't feel good. There's too many people out there in the world today that are dealing with too many things, that are unwell. And the worst part about having poor mental health is feeling A, like you're not understood, and B, like you're alone in it. And that's what's really most important for me to let people know is like, if you're sitting there and you're watching me and you're not feeling good, like, I want you to know, like, yo, me either. Like, I'm not feeling good either. There's this weird thing that happens when somebody gets in a music video, or they get a million views or a million likes or a million follows or whatever. There's this, people all of a sudden think that guy's life must be this good, or like, um, uh, he must be so happy, like he must love his life,
Mhm.
he's got the greatest things going on. And it's just like, people don't realize that, like, we really are all the same. We are, like, really just people. I have terrible days just like a lot of other people have terrible days. In the last 6 years, I've had more bad days than good. And that's what's important for me. I just want people to know that they're not alone in their hardships, and we all go through them. Um, and I'm very proud to be able to stand up and say that I'm right there with you in those trenches. You know.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I got some crucial questions that I almost forgot to ask you. What
Mhm.
is your favorite song that you have made? Like, what's your favorite song? I know it's hard, bro, because I mean, that's like somebody asking, "What's your favorite video you made?" I don't know.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. Like, dude, by the time I write a song, make a beat, record it, do the production, send it to my guy Evan to mix and master it, listen to the mix and masters and make sure that's cool, shoot the video and perform it 100 times in the video and release it. By the time I get to that point, I fucking hate my songs. So, like, I honestly, I hate them all. I couldn't tell you which one is my favorite. All I can say is I've been writing my new solo album lately. I told Nova at the beginning of the year, I'm going to make the best album of my life this year. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very grateful to say that I haven't let myself down. So there's a lot of unreleased stuff in my phone right now that is unquestionably my favorite material.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I believe in you. See, you speaking it into existence. It's gonna be the greatest ever, and I'm gonna cop that thing.
Thanks.
Another thing, your tour. You know, I think your tour got canceled. Somebody said your tour got canceled. Do you have any plans to go on tour now that they opening stuff up?
I had 3 tours in a row get canceled.
Dang.
Yeah, it was terrible. Here's the thing is, like, I can't wait to get back on the road. It's the best part of my job. I feel like without going on tour and meeting people in person and shaking hands and taking pictures and autographing stuff and performing, like, I'm pretty much stuck just sitting in my house rhyming words in my phone and putting out music videos, which is great, but
Yeah.
it's not as good as touring. So sort of the issue that I have is my girlfriend Nova has a really, 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 really acute respiratory disease. 2 years ago, she got like a regular seasonal cold, like
Mhm.
sniffly nose and coughing, and that put her in the hospital for almost 2 weeks and cost like 50 grand.
Wow.
So it's has to be safe for Nova to go on the road, because if she gets this new one, this new virus that they dropped,
Yeah.
if she gets that, I'm not even going to say it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It could
So
be difficult.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if things continue to improve and go the way they're going right now, we're looking at probably like a October November run.
Oh, that'd be good, bro. You gotta let me know, man. I love to dish it out to my people. You come to AZ, bro. You know, I gotta be there. I
Oh, we
gotta
got
be
to
there.
shake hands in person, man. I'd love that.
Yeah, we will, man. And I'm gonna ask you where you stay at when we get offline, because I want to know where y'all at. I could probably fly there eventually at some point.
Hell yeah,
I don't want to
hell
get
yeah.
I don't want to get over sick though. But yeah, man. So we got 2 minutes left. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. I want you to pitch everything that you have. Like, if you got merch, you know, share that. Where can people follow you? How can people support you? How can they get your album? You know, all of that stuff, man. Just
Sure.
dump it on them.
So yeah, all of my merch, my autographed albums, I autograph every single album. I pack them, label them, ship them myself. I spend, 13, 14 nights a month doing that. You can get my autographed albums, my t-shirts, mugs, blankets, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, all that. www.hangovergang.com. My Instagram is also hangovergang. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom Macdonald official. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Tom Macdonald official, or you can catch me talking shit on Twitter at twitter.com/I am Tom Macdonald. So there you go.
And how do we follow Nova? How do we follow her? Because I know she got music out too, and I listened to one of her songs and it was fire. I was like, dang, they both making music. So how do we follow your wifey?
She's the best rapper I've ever met in my life. And you can follow Nova at Nova Rockefeller everywhere on all platforms.
Perfect, man. I got so many more things I want to talk to you about, but we have about an hour. I gotta bring you back, bro. We got to do this again at some point. I'd love to do it in person, man. We could chop it up. I don't know if you do cigars or you like go shooting, man. We can go to the range or whatever you want to do. You come to AZ, I take care of you, man. So I appreciate you, Tom, coming on here, man. You're inspiration to so many people. You probably understand it, but you have no idea that there is probably a young brother like you who is in the mud, in the dumps, ready to give it up, saying, look, I have no future. Why am I alive? I don't want to live no more. I'm going to take this last Xanax or whatever. I'm not saying you took Xanax, but I'm going to take this last hit and I don't care what happened after this. When I wake up in the morning, why do I care? And then they hear your music and they hear your testimony even now, and just one person, all the music you do, brother, if you save one person like yourself, it is worth it. And you can guarantee money back. That with hundreds of millions, I looked at your stats, hundreds of millions of views of your content has drawn in those young people and got them from stepping over the edge. And so if you may not realize that, you probably do, just know, bro, your hustle, your grind, what Nova's doing, what y'all doing is saving people's lives. It's not just helping them dance to some songs and vibe in the car, shout out to their liberal friends. It's like people's life and death is in the balance of the talents that's been given to you. And that's why you got the platform you have, man. And so I'm incredibly blessed, man, to have you on. Thank you for jumping on here and sharing with my audience. Hopefully we can cross-pollinate. And absolutely. I'll have you back, brother. But all right, man.
I can't wait for part 2. Officer Tatum, man. People have been bugging me about doing this for months, brother. I'm glad we got to sit down. So we'll leave it at part 2 coming soon. And much love to you, man. I had a great time, and much love to everybody watching tonight. And I hope everybody's well. And I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, bro. Peace, man. Talk to you later. All right. So my camera all out of focus. Can you get me, Sean? Let me see. Hold on. No, I got it. I'm gonna zoom it in. So, hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really, next time I will have the super chats ready. It literally, I don't know why it don't archive from the very beginning, because it used to do that. So I missed a lot of y'all super chats. However, everybody has seen them. I'm gonna go back and read them. I'm gonna go back and watch this interview, and I'm gonna be able to read the super chats. So thank y'all for supporting Tom. Go and follow Tom Macdonald. Go follow him, support his stuff, man. The brother is, I knew he had a story. And so if you just jump it on, go back and look at this live stream, go look at his story. Shout out to everybody that's giving super chats. I think that I've either encapsulated in this interview the majority of the things that you guys want to know. If I missed it, I love you. I'm sorry I missed it. I'm gonna bring him back. If y'all want it, if y'all want him to come back, I will bring him back and we'll finish the interview with some cooler stuff. He did tell me, on the phone last night, we talked for a brief minute about how he was, people were targeting him and stuff for the music he was making. I know people were asking about, censorship and him getting, afraid of being censored and kicked off of social media. And all of those are legit concerns. And so I wish that I could answer all these questions, but thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for joining the Tatum Squad. Those of you who have joined, and thank y'all for all the support, man. Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. And, if you have some time in your busy schedule, make sure you go to The Officer Tatum and support The Officer Tatum store, The Officer Tatum store. I'm going to give y'all a cool discount just for this live stream. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna give y'all a discount for those who you are part of the Tatum family. If you're not a part of the Tatum family, hey, look, you can come back when the interview. But just for my folks, and if you my new folks, if y'all my new family, I'm gonna give y'all a discount just for this one right here. if I can pull it up. Just only if you want, only if you like the Tatum merch, only if you like B Tatum merch. And obviously while I'm doing that, y'all make sure y'all go check out Tom, man. He's a solid one, man. I can't wait to meet him in person. If he do, I'm gonna do a video with him or something. Let me get y'all discount ready. Only if you want to shop. I'm gonna do it big just for y'all. And it's gonna go into tonight, and then I'm gonna cancel it. Because I told people I wasn't gonna do this ever again, but I might just do it right now. Let's see, discount code. Let's see. What should I do? What should I name it, Sean? I know. I don't want to use his name. Let me see. In the spirit, I think that's good. In the spirit of him marrying, Tom get married to Nova, so we're gonna do Nova. If you put discount code Nova in, you'll get we'll do 27%. That's my midway between 25 and 30. So 27% off the entire store. Y'all can do it or whatever. I'm in it tonight, so you better jump on there. Nova, Nova. Hopefully we can get Tom to marry Nova, and it'll be fire. But anyway, I love you guys, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.